Let's define what our terms are in terms of screening. Okay? First, we're going to start ball on top. First, we're going to screen away. Pass goes to the wing. We go and set the screen. Here comes the cutter. Good. Our next screen is a down screen. Going to pass to the top. Screener's going to go get the guy on the block. Block guy is going to come up to the wing, and we look for that. Next, we have a back screen. Ball's on the wing, pass to the top. Player comes off the block, sets the screen. Cutter cuts through the basket. Okay, next we have a zipper screen. We're going to dribble to the wing. Wing dives down to the block. Post player turns, straight up the gut. That's a zipper screen. Okay, next we have a UCLA screen. Ball gets passed to the wing, high post, sets the screen, cutter dives through the basket. That's a UCLA screen. Next, we have a flare screen. We're going to pass to the wing, cutter cuts to the ball, accepts the screen from the high post, we throw over the top. That's a flare screen. Here is a flare screen from a different angle. Okay, we have a top, two wings. We're going to pass to the wing. Screen comes from the weak side over the top. Shot. Next, we have a stagger screen. Okay, stagger screen is two screens set at different angles to allow the cutter to come off and rub his defender off of, if not both, one or the other screen. Okay, so we start spaced. Post player is going to come up and turn. Wing player is going to come and set at a different angle. Shooter comes around off both screens, looking for a shot. That is a stagger screen. Next, we have what I call a bump screen. We're going to set up in the same stagger that we had just run. Go ahead. Here comes the shooter. Bottom man in the stagger now bumps the top man in the stagger off to the corner. Call that a bump screen. Next, we have a curl screen, which is different than a curl cut. We have a curl screen again off the stagger. Okay? We come and we set the stagger screen. Here comes the shooter. Shooter comes all the way through. Top man in the stagger now sets a screen for the bottom man in the stagger who curls to the basket. That is a curl screen. Okay? Our next screen is called a corner pin. A ball on top. Screener comes down at a flat angle to free the shooter, cutting to the corner. That's a corner pin. Okay, next is a double screen. Shooter on the weak side. We're going to come down, set shoulder to shoulder screen. Shooter comes off the screen, looks for the ball for his shot. That is a double screen. Next, we have a New York screen. Ball's on top. Wing player starts, take his man towards the basket. Post player steps off the lane. We hide behind the post, off the screen. That is a New York screen. Okay, next, we have a flex screen. Two along the baseline. Man comes off the block to set the back screen. Cutter from the corner goes below the screen, looking for the ball. Next is a post down screen. High post goes set a screen for the low post. Low post comes off. Screener shapes up in the lane. Next we have a post back screen. Low post from the weak side comes, sets a screen on the back. High post rolls off the low post screen, hopefully to the basket. That is a post back screen. Next is an Iverson screen. It's what the Sixers used to do for Allen Iverson. We have two posts, shooter in the corner. As we make the move, both posts turn, set the screen for the shooter. Shooter comes off corner to corner, looking for his shot. That is an Iverson screen. Next, we have a floppy screen. Okay? On a floppy screen, the shooter has an option. we're going to wind up with a double screen on one side of the lane, a single screen on the other side of the lane. Shooter dives to the basket, stops, looks at his defense, figures out which is going to be best for him, and he has a choice. He can either come off the double side, or he can come off the single side. That is a floppy screen. Okay, so those are just some of the screens that we use when we run our motion offense. Now, each time we come off of one of these screens, we're presented with options as well. Okay, so as we set this down screen, first option we're going to look at, we're going to come and slash to the wing and look for our shot. Okay, depending upon how the defense is playing, second option we might have screen down, and now we're going to curl around the screen and look for the ball. And then the third option is going to be a fade. We're going to set the down screen. It's going to sell over the top and then cut away from the ball. Any one of those options can be used when you come off of any screen. Okay? Which option do you use? I leave that up to the player. But that is the definition of some of the screens that we use in our motion offense.